And that's kind of what these custom points are. They're not fully operating yet, but that's a longer term goal. Won't be in 3.3, but as the law and order system comes in, that's all going to be part of it. And here we are.
Just for the smugglers, that makes it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, you got to find a backdoor entrance, or how to come, or how to hide it. And smuggling is a specific kind of game. Later. So
that is the wrong button. Oh. What I was saying was I was eating a sandwich and you have to deal with it. Apologies. So I unmuted the wrong thing. I unmuted the media source, which could have been anything. I think it's probably my gaming cut, so it's probably fine. But I was eating.
Beautiful.
So yeah, I'm professional. Pedro's music was too short. So some things I want to go over today. Why do I wear headphones when I'm not listening to any sounds? Who knows? Turbo Teen 27. Thank you very much for the bits. I saw more people chucking money at me as well. QT Boss Battle. I love your fucking face. The super chat is sponsored by the -1700 a Alpha UEC club. Join today. All you have to do is trade cargo in the persistent universe. Yeah, so there's obviously that problem where you can get negative balance Alpha UEC, which cripples you in game. It's pretty awful. I'll be talking about that in the state of the game later this week. Oh my god!
Beautiful.
Thank you very much for the bits. Very much appreciated, Turbo Teen. You chuck cheer at me. If anyone wants to chuck money at me because I'm a pretty boy, then you're more than welcome to. I appreciate it. Thank you. I love the love. But things we will talk about today. Well, anything that people bring up as a question, I'm happy to answer anything. If I don't get to your question, not because I think your question's shit. It's more likely I haven't seen it though. So every few minutes, feel free to put your question in. I might have already answered it though. I don't mind answering questions a couple of times for people that come back into the channel at different times. So bear that in mind. Oh, more bits! It's chucking bits at me! Archfield 2K, why is it? It's telling me to say hello to you. Hello! It's new apparently. And top left, Starship Troopers. Oh! I've got a package downstairs. It's probably Starship Troopers. It came the other day. I haven't opened it yet. It is book sized. So I will start reading it at some point. I had a terrible migraine over the weekend. And I was very stressed. And we'll talk about why, to an extent, because it will be me whining and going, me. But look, when I get my head really close, because it's so shiny, does it cause the camera to... Yeah, look! Look, the halo around my head. Boom. Look what I can do to the camera. Confuse the camera. Shiny head confuses the camera. So that's amazing. I've got a 4K camera. Haven't set it up properly yet. Probably need to light myself properly. That would help. But I've got the 4K Brio. I haven't tried it out in Star Citizen for FOIP yet, but I will. It's one of the reasons I got it. But the other one is I want to do full screen 4K stuff when I talk. One of the other things I want to do is be a bit more receptive to people that are patrons and that are members on my channel. So members are basically, you can pay in the same way you can on Twitch to subscribe to someone's YouTube channel now for like $5, and that gives the content creator most of that money, but then you get some badges and other stuff like that, but you also get the ability to give more exclusive content to those people, other than just emotes and things that they can use in chat and whatever. Thank you very much, Alfred, for... Thank you. I appreciate all the bits. I appreciate all the emotes going on. So, yeah, I need to start doing more for them. And with that in mind, I'm going to start... I'm changing the way I'm doing the Org Spotlight, and I want to cover a good amount of orgs each month. Orgs do not need to give me any ships or any form of donation to be featured. What they do need to do is come onto my Discord and message me with links to their organisation, and then give me a little blurb pretending they're recruiting me. With that, the idea is I know exactly what their organisation does and how they fit into the verse and what they do at the moment, which is great, because then I'll go through and I'll pick some of them. And every month, what I want to do is interview someone from that org, about the org, the leader preferably, talk about some of the gameplay that they're focused on, and so advertise their org, but also focus on some form of topic or whatever during that conversation that is a bit more meaty, so that they can double up as informational videos for people that aren't interested in that org. Because I think it's important to understand where other orgs are coming from, because they will affect your gameplay in a lot of the time. So I want to start doing that, and I'd like to get like 3 to 4 orgs done a month, sort of thing. That said, orgs are more than welcome to give away a ship or something if they want to, but it will be an afterthought after I've contacted them. Yeah? Because I don't want there to be barriers to entry to that. I get a load of, sorry I keep on rooting around in my face for food. I get a load of basically views and the community in general keep my channel going. I don't need to gate entry to that, because, you know, there's a lot of opportunities afforded to me because of my channel stature, and because I don't want to ever forget the roots where my channel's come from and why it's successful, and it is because, you know, I've at least had the image of not being a dick. So let's keep that up. But let's go through some of the questions. The other things I want to talk about are the modding tools that Unknown44 has sort of like put on the Reddit. This is, if you've seen some of the leaks, it was like someone spawning an Idris in and someone spawning other assets in during the 3.3.5 and 3.6 live builds. That was Unknown44 using his tool set that he's made, which basically exploit access to the console, and then in an offline mode you can spawn ships in as if you're with console commands. So we'll talk about that as well. What do we got here? Bored Shadow. I'm using their service and finding their support terrible. Emo only, no live chat, not number to call, no keyboard. Discord. Gareth, go on their Discord. That's how I do all of my problem solving with them. That's their live support. I thought it was signposted to there as well. I apologise if it's not. Well, I don't apologise. I was not aware that it's not, although I do feel sorry. I do apologise. I feel like because I'm championing them, if you're having problems, then you should be able to get through, and I should have checked that. Their Discord. That should help you. Or if they're not responding and they're being dicks or whatever, Twitter them, and I will retweet it if it's something they don't respond to. Star Citizen used to run on my SNES. Yeah, so I just upgraded to 64 gigs of RAM, so the most recent channel goal I had was to get my 4K set up for content creation on the go. Now, the 4K monitors that I want to get eventually are like £2 by themselves, so what I've done is I've got an interim 60Hz 4K monitor, 64 gigs of RAM, new hard drive, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my monitors mounted on 4 arms, and I'm going to have a 4K monitor and my 1440p 144Hz monitor above each other, and then I'll be able to play and record Star Citizen in 4K, but also when I'm playing other games I might play on them 1440p 144Hz or whatever. Basically the 4K one is for content creation, so hopefully very soon we'll see some 4K videos on my channel, and then everything will be in 4K, which doesn't mean that lower resolutions will be ignored. It should mean they actually get higher bitrate when you watch in that resolution, so you should get higher quality for everyone. That's the idea. I'm not eating a cookie. I'm drinking green tea with jasmine as well. I had a crepe with Ferrero Rocher and Ferrero Rocher ice cream in it yesterday, and a milkshake that was ice cream and Kinder Bueno. I don't know if anyone knows all those chocolates. I'm not sure if they're just in the UK, although I assume they're not. But it was amazing. But I did feel like immediately like I had diabetes. La la la. Just making sure I'm not muted. ASMR. Oh my god. To do star sets in ASMR. That would be amazing. I'm a pro strummer. That is true. I did like the fact that Twerk had to play Fortnite because he said if the game crashed, if the game crashes before I get on this train, I'm going to play a game of Fortnite and try and win. And it crashed. It's like 3 seconds after he said it. Oh my god, he's a good chap. He's a good chap. Is Twerk. Oh my god. Tobleth, I think in donations you've paid for the book Starship Troopers now. Thank you very much. It's very much appreciated. But Tobleth has suggested I read it because I've never read it before. Because I've never read it before. Because I've never read it before. Any status on when cargo kiosks in Hurston Moons will be enabled? Almost certainly for 3.4. So, assuming that everything is going okay with 3.4. 3.4 is just an extension of the 3.3 branch now. But assuming that everything's going well with that, assuming they haven't decided, no, we're going to delay it until next year or something, then I believe the plan is to have a 3.4 every person PT or live build for the 20th of December, which probably means we're going to get an Eva Carty build of that really damn soon. And it should enable a load of stuff, quality of life-wise, for 3.4. So it should be like missions hooked up, potentially more FPS AI, the cargo kiosks hooked up on moons, things like that. Hopefully missions that are accessible and the NPCs / mission givers don't constantly go inert. No, it's the wrong word. Inactive. Unresponsive. I think that the Reliant core variants have been built to a good standard, and then the Reliant core will absorb some of those updates. So it's not like a full Cutlass Black rework, but in between that. Hello. Can it run on a Sinclair ZX? Oh my god, on the Spectrum, mate. You only get negative balance when abusing the bug where it does not withdraw money from you when buying cargo. If you store the ship, relog, and sell a single unit, it should reset your balance to 0. Is that true? I know some people have actually had that on a more permanent basis. Maybe they didn't know the fix. But it's not just when people are abusing that bug. That does just happen sometimes, I promise you. Or at least it did in 3.3.5. Any Carrack news, size, or roadmap adding? So, this Friday is the last RTV of the year. They are doing a big... Let's get people involved in this, actually. I try not to do calls to action, but fuck it. I'll start doing calls to action for people asking questions. That's a good idea. So, let's go here. So, they're doing a big, like, ship-shape live RTV, and they're doing a huge amount of Q&A questions about ships. They're obviously about to give us the most information on ships that are already on the roadmap, so the Hawk Freelance variants, 300 Rework, Banu Defender, Reliant variants, Constellation Taurus, Archimedes, and 890 Jump, they state, and that will also be the Reliant Rework, and 600I, I assume, as well. But ships that aren't on the roadmap at the moment, or ones that are more than a year or out, they're less likely to have as much information about them. But we do know the Carrack is in development, but with a team of 5 currently, which is great, so hopefully we'll get a load of questions answered on that. And if you go to that thread, you can ask and upvote questions. Most of the largely upvoted ones they can answer will get asked, but it's if they don't have answers for them, or they go, no, it's not the right time, or they're about to show them off somehow, then they might not get answered. Look how shiny the top of my head is compared to the rest of my face. I will set up some lights in a more appropriate fashion. Twerk and Saurus always tried to get me to set up lights, and I was always like, nah. I do have some, so for this camera, it looks like I might have to. FOIP will work a lot better as well with that. But there were some good questions. I'd like to know what they're going to tweak for the Vanguard. I'd like to know stuff about the new flight model. Anything they want to give me on any of the ships beyond what's on the roadmap already. would be useful. I mean, Carrack, Bounty Merchantman, Bounty Merchantman, Bounty Merchantman. Although not much talk about the Bounty Merchantman here. More about the Carrack, more about the Polaris. We want to know how big the Carrack is now, like, more confirmed. They said 10 meters longer, but we don't know exactly what that was in reference to. Well, we sort of do, but we don't. Fuck you. Good day, Bored. Thank you very much, KWO311 USMC. Thank you very much for the donation. Constantly giving me money. I do appreciate it. You're our star. Thank you. And Litcheron, love you, mate. Litchacron, sorry. Litchacron is the most active person on my Reddit. And for a long time, he was the only person that posted on my Reddit. We've got a couple of other people that post now. And I just went, have a Saber Raven the other day. I was like, mate, I appreciate what you do. You constantly are positive on my videos, and you're always there. And I was just, thank you. It's just like a Christmas present. So thank you very much, Lichacron. Very much. Is it pronounced Lichacron? Thank you. Oh, well, I've clicked on something I shouldn't have. No, we're good. We're good.
Dodging bullets like fucking
beautiful.
Leo.
All right, what we got? What we got here? What do we got here? Bam, bam, bam. How much did the Matadors pay for that favourable interview? They didn't pay me anything beyond what they donated on stream, which people saw, and the giveaway of ships. And I talked to Aventador pretty freeform. So I want my channel to be a platform for people to talk and explain themselves. I'm not the Inquisition. I don't have to defend myself, and I'm not someone that is particularly sort of like, I'm going to ask the hard questions to get the truth out of this. It's not my style. Like, I don't need to take the position where I'm very aggressive towards things, or that I look outraged. If I'm outraged about something, I'll be outraged about something. It's not other people's place to tell me if I'm outraged about something. The Matadors, I don't know if some of their members grieve. Potentially they probably fucking do, or at least in some ways people will see it as griefing. So I'm not there to defend them. I let them explain themselves on in a pretty neutral interview, and people can choose to believe that or not, and you can infer what you want from that interview. If you think they're a bunch of dicks and you don't want to be part of them, fucking great. If you're looking for a pirate organisation that does exactly what they do, great. They are a brute fact. So is piracy in Star Citizen. And that's all I've really got to say on the matter. Like, if I want to shill for something, I'll shill for it. But I'll say that I'm shilling for it. With Matadors, they gave me a load of ships. I can interview them how I want. And I thought I asked him some questions. And I thought I got him to say stuff that people can then go, well, actually, no, that is griefing. Or, no, that's fine. Or whatever. That's yours to decide. However, I don't think they're that bad, personally. Although I'm not aware of all the stuff they've done. They might have done some terrible things. I don't know. There might be other members in other orgs that have done terrible things. I don't know. It's not my job to police that. I did a reasonable amount to make sure they weren't monsters. And then, you know, covered them. And I'm going to cover a load of other orgs as well. So people aren't going to like some of the orgs I cover. I promise you that. Do you know how long it takes for Shadow to set up your account? I believe it's 5 days. I think it's 5 days. Around that. QT boss battle. Please tell me about your experience you have with them as well. Make sure it's good or not or whatever. And you get, obviously, every day it's not there, you don't pay for. You get that added to your thing. Which ship do you think will see work sooner? The Mercury, because it's the smallest ship out there in the lineup, or the Orion, because the mining is already in-game? Well, the Orion's probably already had more work done to it than the Mercury, because the Mercury is concepted afterwards, and the Orion had already been resized in white and grey box, or at least white box. So I think we'll probably see the Mercury sooner, but the Orion will, we might see updates on the, yeah, we'll probably see the Mercury in game sooner, but we'll probably see updates on the Orion sooner, if you see what I mean. Do you think the Reliant core will get a large rework or some adjustments? What do you think about it currently? Seems underpowered. Yes. I mean, all the ships are going to get changed to the new flight model anyway. The Reliant series are my least favourite ships in the game, which is saying a lot. Like, I hate them. I hate the way they fly. They anger me. Oh no. good. That's good. 1 second. Just realised that I am on Discord. Ready to talk to Unknown44 and some of the people that made those tools. I'm going to chat to them more and see what if they've got anything planned or whatever. But we'll talk about that in a minute as well. How's your day so far? I have a question. Surprise, it's about the Idris. When do you think we'll see the Idris in the Persistent Universe Squadron 42? Do you think we'll get a surprise this year? I don't know, Johnny. I genuinely don't know. I'm the worst at calling timeframes when it comes to releases of Squadron 42 anyway. And also, I'm typically good with short-term windows. Like I'll be like, they're going to release the 3.4 in a week or what, you know what I mean. But I'm not very good with the Squadron 42 stuff. Because I thought it was going to be released in, I don't know, 2016, end of 2016? And how's that turned out? Or the end of 2017, or beginning of 2017, I don't know. So, the asset that was shown for the Idris M was not the full asset. It was sort of like the, probably the asset you would see if it's passing you, or if you're not on it. So, I don't know when we're going to see it. Really need to get enough players in game. They need server-side object container streaming. They potentially need Squadron 42 released because they want those ships finished. And then they need some of the lobby refactor and some of the server meshing stuff started probably. And then we'll see them in game. What are your thoughts on the Idris P with lighter armour than the M and the sale of the aftermarket kit for the Idris P? So yeah, they solved this Idris K kit, which was basically a battlefield upgrade kit, a selection of a missile turret, some turrets to replace the side turrets with point defense-esque turrets, and the Idris P has the railgun mount, but no railgun on it, and on that mount they put a large beam weapon. So they basically confirmed, yeah, we are definitely doing beam weapons now, because we've actually selling this beam weapon, but it is not as powerful as the Idris M is. The Idris M basically is the military version of that Idris, has more armor, and that railgun the Idris M has got is going to be significantly better for pounding large ships down. The beam weapon, however, might be better in some situations because it's very easy to aim compared to the railgun. And if you miss with a railgun, well, you've done no damage. Whereas the beam weapon might be able to do consistent damage. I think the M and P are actually slightly different variants rather than just modular differences, because basically Idris P is supposed to be like military surplus, but I do think it has less armor, which potentially might not be able to upgrade, and the Idris M would still beat it for that. Will Cryotech jump on this exploit of the console command in their court case with SIG? If it's relevant, it's Cryotech. Cryotech. I don't see how it's relevant though, unless it shows exploits into no, because it's literally a lumberyard. I mean, the thing is using lumberyard and lumberjack and stuff like that to exploit it. So it is if anything, it proves that their game is for the most part, if not entirely, lumberyard now. How far out is 3.4 from showing up on the PTU? Well, we potentially could get Eva Carty this week, I think, by Friday. That's right, that's what I'm hoping for. How long until the carrick's out? Don't know, but it is in production again. Where are the forest areas on Hurston? If you take, coming out of the spaceport, yeah, if you take the Hurston Dynamics headquarters, the big building, as north, when you come out of there, if you go southeast-east, if you go southeast-east, or if you take that, Hurston Dynamics is 12 o'clock, and you go 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 4:30, and you will come to the forest pretty quick. Boom. I know my way around Hurston pretty well now. Do you have another work apart from YouTube? It's just content creation. So, streaming, YouTube, maintaining a website, stuff like that. Being an influencer. I used to, up until very recently, be the full-time carer of my brother as well, which is why I started doing YouTube, because it fit in really well with that. And now he's got proper carers, so... When do I think the Mercury will be flight ready? Very likely by the end of next year is what I think with the Mercury. Will there be a Starfarer Gemini rework? Not to my knowledge. All ships may get updates with materials and like pipeline updates, but they're not going to be major reworks or anything. Like they might be tiny amounts of modelling work and materials updates. Why is the Santok going to be the best ship to grace Star Citizen? Well, it might not be. After the new flight model has been put in 3.5, we will start to see how they want the Xi'an ships, because we've still got the Cartual, the Xi'an Scout, how they want them to move around compared to how they want other ships to move. Now, if that gives them a massive advantage, then the Santok Yai will probably have that same advantage over medium ships, like medium fighters, like the Sabre, like the Super Hornet. So, we'll have to wait and see. When do you think we will see remote turrets? We've got remote turrets. Do you mean AI-controlled turrets? And do you think there will be upgrades to manned turrets? I think, yeah, I think they'll be customizable and changeable with some manned turrets, yes. What's your opinion on the Buccaneer? Paper thin, with no ejection seat, but I don't want a melter. It's a cheap, medium fighter with a huge DPS output. I mean, it's not paper thin. Well, it's not intended to be paper thin, but it's intended to be the most paper thin of the medium fighters, I'd say. The least tanky. When do I expect Squadron 42 to be out? I don't know. We've heard like a little rumorette that they might have a launch party at the end of 2019, but I don't know. We'll find out probably more at the holiday live stream, which I'm assuming is still happening this year and should be around December 20th. How is it looking for role players and the possibility of doing roleplay? Good, bad? Well, there's a load of quite big roleplay organisations that do it pretty well now. Bano News! Just about to see who dropped that link in, but it was me. When do you feel that 3.4 will go to Ivacati and the rest of PT? Yeah, I think it will go, I think, by the end of this week. Assuming everything's going well with 3.4, assuming they haven't decided some sort of like, oh no, we're just going to push it to next year. I mean, that's the sort of stuff they occasionally do, but I'm hoping they've gone, boom, let's just get this done, get 3.4 out, get back on the 3-month train. Once hangars are physical, will ships CCU'd from smaller ships with smaller hangars or packages with one hangar for 3 ships have an issue? Should hangars be bound to ships? Good question. I don't entirely know. Obviously you need... I mean, with those hangars, I'd be okay if they weren't permanent hangars, if they were just hangars for a certain amount of time, just whatever. But maybe they should be permanent. People can buy them, so they have to be permanent, I suppose. Yeah, you want to be able to store all your ships. But I suppose you don't need to have them all stored immediately. You can have them like in public storage. I don't know what the best option is for it. I don't know how they're going to do it. I'll have a better think. What's the coolest ship to own in Star Citizen? The easy mode ship at the moment for me is the Super Hornet, because it allows you to do the missions much more easily. Obviously you can't really do much in the way of delivery and maintenance missions though. Cutlass is pretty popular, pretty cool. I think that the one that people want the most is sort of like Carrack, 8-8 Jump, Javelin, Idris. Idris M's probably the coolest ship to own. Kraken people like. Do you think the Banu Merchantman is still a great buy? Do you expect the Defender to be dockable? Yes, I do. I think the interplay between the Banu Merchantman and the Defender will be it is able to sort of like quick dock, refuel, rearm, potentially repair with it. And will travel with it in quantum so it doesn't have to expend its own fuel. That's the sort of interplay that I expect. And yes, I think the Banu Merchantman is probably still a great buy. What is it, $350 at the moment? Originally $250. Hey BoredGamer, do you know what else I can use an Aegis Eclipse from apart from blowing up random starfarers? Stealthing in to stuff. You can do a lot of missions pretty quietly without things detecting you. So yeah, it's a stealth ship as well as a first strike and alpha ship and torpedo boats. But it is primarily for combat. How many more anniversaries can we expect in the future? One every year probably. Even when the game releases, I'm expecting. How am I today? I'm doing alright. Doing okay. Thank you. It's appreciated. I had a terrible migraine over the weekend, but I feel a billion times better now. Oh, Bob Ross, what a beautiful name. Is there any news on the Hull series? Is it most likely to come out when docking is released? So yeah, so we know that with the Hull C and beyond at the very least, so Hull A and Hull B, maybe they could come out earlier, maybe that's less complicated, but we know that they need multi-grid physics tech, so that they can have the compression of the spindly bits. Spindly bits! They are also working on Cargo 2.0, although they've probably renamed it to something else now because people don't like the 2.0s after everything. So that's like different sizes of cargo containers and how cargo works and a more evolved cargo system. And then they want ship-to-station docking. There's like a rat in my radiator in my room. My dad's around servicing things, I think. He was in the loft earlier. He's like 70-something. He's running around the loft. So, no. Yeah, so then they need ship-to-station docking, which is next on that. And then it's ship-to-ship docking. And they need ship-to-station docking for the Hull series. And potentially ship-to-ship docking so that it can actually unload its cargo for when it's a size C or above, because they can't really land. Well, can't land when its cargo's out, and obviously you want to be able to trade with its cargo. You want to be able to do things with its cargo. So I don't know when that's going to be released, is the crux of that. Hopefully they'll tell us a bit more in the ship Q&A on Friday. What else have we got here? I hope they fix mission givers. No one expects the board Inquisition. I've just picked up a Saber Comet. Thoughts. Also picked up the Arrow. Well, I think you've got two ships that are very similar, and the Saber just being better, in my opinion. I like the normal Saber the most, but the Saber Comet is pretty damn cool. I just don't like its camouflage. So I think the Arrow and the Saber are very similar, but if you love the ships, you love the ships. But the Comet's cool. What are spline jumps mentioned in the 3.4 quantum jump improvements? So spline jumps are when sort of like it plots a route that isn't a direct straight line. So you're like, I want to go on the other side of this moon. So it creates a spline, a curved path that it can then travel to. Will the Reliant Sen be viable? Yes, but it currently isn't in the game. We'll know a lot more once the game's once we have the new flight model. But all those ships will be viable. Of course they will. They'll have to balance it for such. Do you know when the Lynx Rover will be in game? Nope. I was hoping we'd see it in the Expo, but we didn't. So maybe it's not as far along as I thought. Do you have any idea on the release date of the Hull series? We just talked about that. I'm not into the Matadors from what I've seen of the game, but I enjoy PvPing against them. Cool. Yeah. And that's one of the things, isn't it? There's like, you need piracy in game. And I think a lot of people are just angry about piracy separately. I mean, I'm sure they're angry at Matadors as well for things. But piracy is an important gameplay mechanic. However, when people push the boundaries of what is appropriate behaviour into griefing, that is not appropriate. Do you think that playing an Indiana Jones style character, archaeologist, treasure hunter will be profitable? Yes, it's one of the things I want to be doing quite often in stuff like a Reclaimer or a Carrack. I do not like the Valkyrie skin, the Citizen Con one either. It is vile, in my opinion, colour-wise. But what's the word on multi-game packages? Are we still getting a free crewman to make? They've sort of like sidestepped the agent smithing and free crewman and multiple hangers at the moment. That they are still working that stuff out. I would not expect. I don't know. I mean, they possibly could have the feature where you can build your next few teammates and then have them as NPCs, but you'll probably still have to pay them because they'll still be living. They have living costs. They'll be eating and stuff. Do you think the Aegis Eclipse will be tweaked? Different guns and shields? Yeah, I think most ships between now and like a beta in a couple of years and a release and maybe a year or so after that will get tweaked, rebalanced, and might see different guns, might see different shields, and you'll see that for most of the ships. I mean, they've just done it to a load of ships, haven't they? They've changed their loadouts. Is the Mist ship that the Urza... Is there a Mist ship that the Urza Rover can fit in? Starfarer? When do I think the beta will come? A couple of years, so end of 2020. That's when I'm expecting something in our hands similar to a beta. Because Star Citizen is just going to keep on releasing every 3 months or so big updates. That's their plan for the future. So, any idea when full persistence will be a thing? Want to live on my ship instead of a hab. So yeah, probably by a couple of years. That's what I'm thinking. Probably a bit before that, but... Do you know any detail about the guild system coming in 3.6? We'll be able to share ships with friends, for instance. So guilds is going to be NPC-run organisations and groups that you can join and will give you access to potentially more missions or more information or assistance or cheaper stuff. They are also, at the same time, I believe, improving group systems, and one of their next pillars that are trying to get into the game is improved organisation stuff as well. It's one of their pillars, and for that they want the ability to share missions more seamlessly. They want people to want to group together. They want permissions to share ships and permissions for security and stuff like that. So expect those. I'm just not sure in what order they're going to be coming in and exactly when. Any info on AI turrets? Well, they actually talked, gave us a little more of a nugget about AI turrets. So we know with AI turrets that your ship will have a certain amount of slots for like computer blades, and these slots might not just be used for AI targeting turrets. They might have some other uses as well. But one of the things is for the arrow, they talked about that you could make its turret on top. You could install blades to allow that to automatedly fire like a point defense system almost. And we're not entirely sure exactly how point defense systems will work. Basically, they are just AI controlled turrets. They should be more derpy than an NPC. Basically, they're working on a simple instruction set of maybe target just missiles, target just torpedoes, shoot all enemies within 100 meters, things like that. Pretty simple tasks. And they said that if you did that, though, that would use up at least 50% of the blade slots, if not all of them, on the arrow, meaning that you didn't have any upgrade options for blades computers. But they need to talk more about that in the future. But it is definitely a thing. Stupid question, but what's the purpose of capital ships? What should they destroy, or do, they end up as mobile spawn points. So capital ships are, some of them are going to be like effectively mobile spawn points the way I understand it. So if they've got like a full medical bay and that sort of stuff, they'll be able to save people, and people will be able to set them as respawn points in a similar way. They'd have hospitals respawning them on planets. But capital ships allow for bigger systems to do different things. It depends on the capital ship in question, but you might have mapping rooms, you might have landing areas where people can do fuel repair and rearm, you might have them as parent ships to a large fleet so they don't have to expend quantum fuel. Some ships are going to be very short range, so they need to be deployed from capital ships. They might have lots of various systems, scanning arrays and that sort of stuff that are significantly larger, that smaller ships wouldn't have access to, so they can coordinate attacks. There's dozens and dozens of things, and more specialised capital ships will do things in different ways. But one of the things they're supposed to do is kill other capital ships, or help destroy fleets, or attacks like proper bases. So you might get space stations. There might be missions in the future to attack a overrun pirate outpost, and they might have some of the smaller capital ships there when you turn up in your Javelin, and it might be a proper big fight. Was there really no news on the Polaris this sale? Nope. They wanted to talk more about sort of like the basics of stuff. Hopefully we'll get some more information on the Polaris this Friday. But the videos they released weren't so much for older backers, which was a shame. It was more for newer backers and little updates and sort of like a more candid just chat. What are your thoughts on female avatars? Well, they're needed for the game. We're going to get the DNA system and hopefully female characters for 3.5. I wanted them for 3.4. I was sure they weren't going to get moved to 3.5, but they did. Why is the Santak Yai going to be the best ship? We've already talked about that. Yeah, so sure, the anniversary sale ends 5th December, 8 AM UTC. Well, there was a message from Nooberfire to Tyler. Start Nooberfire. Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look. See. Sorry, just saw Nooberfire berating someone for being stupid. Is it Rob Space Industries? No. 1 second. Somewhere I have documents with all of the information. Food for Christmas. Huh. That's not what I want. There's a copy of the modding tools in case they go walkabouts. Maybe I don't have this. Oh no, maybe I do. Bam, bam. Beautiful. So let's bring this up on the screen. Desktop. Captain Zoilo, Tyler, hello, can you confirm if the anniversary promotion continues with all ships available until the 4th? It reads like, blah, blah, blah. Yes, that's correct. The promotion does indeed go through the 4th. The free fly ends tonight. So, free fly's ended, but there's a sale on through the 4th. And then, what time does it end? 11:59 PM Pacific, which would be 8 AM in the morning of the 5th. That's what I've inferred by that. I assume that is correct. Apologies if it is not. Or if there's a different interpretation of that I should have taken. Do you think the Vandal ships will use Xi'an model or human thruster-centric models? I think they will be more human-centric. I think it will be specifically the Xi'an that will use Xi'an thrusters, the more strafey ones, and some Banu ships will use that as well, because that's what the Banu do. They steal other people's tech and just assimilate it. They are the trading Borg. Question, that means that's just a list of ships. When do I expect to answer YouTube questions? What? When do you think the in-game currency will stick for in-game purchases? I have 340,000 from doing runs, from Jump Town to Grimhex. We'd love to borrow Prospector. I think that what they'll do is they'll probably open the resets up, or lessen the resets is what I'm saying. So maybe it will be every 6 months or so in the nearer future. And then once we have full persistence, probably in a couple of years, then they'll go, no more resets. That's what I expect. But again, that is just my opinion. Hey, question, Banner Merchantman, Spikes, George, Hull, Searchlights, Landing Concept Art, or Fatty Whale, Space Whale, where do you stand? I don't know until we see the updates to it and how it's going. It's one of my favourite ships on paper, though. What ships are going to be able to fit into the Carrack? Probably just the Pisces and other snubs. Some other snubs. It is purpose-built, the cargo, but the ship bay for the Pisces, as far as I'm aware. Are we supposed to be getting procedural missions, VoIP and VoIP working in-game before the next major release? I believe that they are potentially trying to get VoIP and VoIP working properly and the missions hooked up in a better state for 3.4. I want to buy the Avenger. It's such a sexy ship about that loner life. And already having a 600i Explorer feels bad. Just get it in game. Just get it in game. You'll be able to buy them or rent them soon. Favourite dip sauce for chips? If it is big style, chunky chip shop chips from the UK, either mayo/garlic mayo or curry sauce. If it's fish and chips, curry sauce is the best. Some of you will think I'm a monster, but I am right. I've got a very refined taste when it comes to food. And very specific. I complain a lot. Have they said anything about the freelancer variants? They are on the roadmap for 3.4, but they aren't mentioned on the ship shape post. I'm assuming some people will talk about them and ask about them. They'll probably mention them, whatever. We have seen some pictures of them, and let me try and bring them up. Oh my god, I couldn't words then. It's like sorting. Is it sorting? Yes, it is. I don't have a. It was in one of the newsletters. That's the last I've seen on the freelancer reworks. You might see some very light updates to the freelancer as well, standard freelancer. Maybe potentially at the same time, or maybe a little bit in the future. I used to love the freelancer. I've gone more into the loving the Cutlass, and I saw some questions about Cutlass Blue. I do like the idea of the Cutlass Blue. If you can remove the cells, or it doesn't come with cells, then it's going to be one of my recommended ships, because I like the idea of a more militaristic, armoured Cutlass. But I want to be able to take cargo. I want to be able to use it for the same reasons as the Cutlass. Will they just fix the mission givers and admins with 3.4 and other broken missions at the moment? Thanks. Yeah, and they'll probably add and hook up the satellite missions, the FPS AI on the ground, stuff like that. Any news on the Redeemer, or should I just melt mine? I was expecting news on the Redeemer. Nothing has happened, so I do not know. What are the mythical NPCs ships? Where are the mythical NPC ships landing, taking off, and flying around Lorville? I think they may have disabled or lowered the chances of them happening for 3.3.6 for the free flight and anniversary event. That's what I was trying to act out with the medium of dance. Will spline jumps mean an end to ridiculously hierarchy of going to the planet first and then doing a second jump to a moon? In some situations, yes. Sometimes you are going to have to go to the major planetary body, though, for whatever reason, I think. As a streamer, content creator, are there any specific functions you would like to see on the Mako? Zoom, wide angle, gimbal smoothing, and target focus. I need to know, Quantum Monkey, how the mechanic's going to work first. So the idea is that the Reliant Mako is a news van, and we know they've got these render-to-text tech. We know that they can stream stuff that's happening in the game to other places in game, on screens if they want to, but we don't know exactly how this is going to work. Are they going to allow the Mako to stream directly off-site? Are they going to allow it to stream in-game? Are you going to be able to make money by having people view your broadcast? Things like that. We don't know how that mechanic's going to work. We don't know how people are going to make money from the Mako. Maybe it is purely to help content creators. So I need to know more about the mechanic before I tell you what I want from the specifics of that. So it's not, the stream isn't extremely delayed, I'm extremely delayed in reading the questions. So it's like 10 minutes at least. Like this, boom, let's get the lightning round it. Is it stupid to want a Valkyrie when you have no friends? Yes. One man ship it or get in an org. Boom. When CIG has a concept sale and you have an existing ship that you want to upgrade to the new concept ship, is that possible or no? Yes. You have an existing ship, you just upgrade it in the CCUs. Go into your hangar and then click on ship upgrades, or go to the store pledgy place to buy ships, and then click on upgrade ships. Boom. Next. Do you know anything about weather systems, rain, tornadoes, etc. that will be implemented in Star Citizen? They want dynamic weather across the planets. There will be some interesting weather systems. There will be things like rain. I'm not sure if there will be tornadoes or things like that, but there will be storms, certainly. We've seen a dust storm. There will be various stormy type things. I'm just not exactly sure exactly what we'll be getting with that. It is being worked on at the moment, I believe, as well, by one of the clever gentlemen they have. Do you think the Hercules A2 will be viable for a 5-man org? Yes, it is going to be a very powerful dropship, bomb ship, death from above ship. Can I do a video about insurances? I've done videos previously about insurances. What do you want to know? What they're talking about for the future of insurance? Feel free to message me, Jay, if you want more specifics. I want to be more specific, and I'll look into it a bit more. Any thoughts on the Anvil Hawk? I want to see how it fits into the pantheon of ships now. Obviously, Anvil just released the Arrow, which is a light fighter. The Anvil Hawk is also a light fighter, more heavily armed and with an EMP, slightly different role, as it's for bounty hunting, but I love it. I think it looks like a cool ship. Have you heard anything about more facilities being added to Hurston's moons, as we have all we have on those are mines? Thanks for all the hard work. Yeah, I suspect they'll be hooked up to more missions and more points of interest and things like that as well. I just don't know when. Hopefully a bit more for 3.4. But eventually I expect to see downed ships there. I expect to see more advanced outposts, the more underground facilities, maybe little junker towns, maybe things like that. What would you consider the upgrade path? Would you consider doing an upgrade path for ships video series? Yes. I want to go through all of the ships again in a ship's buyer's guide once we have the new flight model, because we can actually compare them more appropriately of how they actually intend to stack up to each other. And we can do upgrade path and stuff like that videos. Noobifier does those stuff pretty well though already, so it's only if I feel like I'm adding to the conversation typically. Anyone else want to play but doesn't have a powerful enough computer? Check out shadow.tech. It's one of the services I champion. They allow you to turn shitty computers into better computers, basically, by leveraging the internet. So what you do is you can use your phone or whatever, and you remotely connect to another computer and play from that. And if your internet's good enough and you're in a good area and supported by it, then your latency will be very minimal. So it is actually very viable for games and high-spec games. So check it out, see if it's useful for you. Check out other people's reviews. It does depend on how good your internet is and where you are in the world. Will the Saber be unavailable buying again after the anniversary? When is it buyable again? Is the Sabre a limited ship, or can you buy it all the time? If you're worried about stuff like that, there are what is known as, I think Noobify describes them as layaway upgrades. So let me show this. Let me show this. Bam. So you go to this page. Where am I going? I'm going to Pledge Store. Boom. Boom. And then we're going to upgrades. So this is how you upgrade ships or vehicles or whatever. You choose a ship you want to upgrade from. You don't have to own the ship, but it's probably better that you do. And then you click on the ship you want to upgrade from, and you click the ship you want to upgrade to. So what did you say you wanted to buy? A Sabre. So for a ship that you're thinking is gonna not be available, you could buy an upgrade from another ship that's always available. Do you see what I mean? So is the Prospector always available? I think it probably is now. So $15 Prospector to Sabre upgrade. Then if you want the Sabre in the future, you can buy the Prospector and then just upgrade it with that upgrade that you've bought. Boom. My hangar is full of loads of different upgrades for things. I've put around £50 or like $70 in each month to Star Citizen since I started my channel, just as a sensible little thing. So, for my own fleet. Boom. As soon as we have information on 3.7, I will update with such. Any news about potential scythe glaive rework to follow the design cues of the updated blade and driller? Good question, Steve. I'm assuming so. I just don't know when. Use your sleep when you're live, since I'm on the other side of the world. Thanks for all the videos you put out. Cheers. Thank you very much, The Elusive. Oh, you star. Thank you very much for the cheer. I appreciate the bits. Shite donated $5 through Super Chat. Freelancer Miss or Cutlass Blue? Sorry, I did see your question earlier. I just sort of like went out of my head. I apologise, Shite. I love you. Cutlass Blue. See, there's a little bit of a but to that. It's if you can, as long as you can remove the cells, Cutlass Blue. Because I want to, as long as it can take cargo. I like the cutlasses. I just like them for some reason. Yeah, I'm hoping that the Scythe and Glaive get those reworks. They probably have already almost been finished, if they're doing them, or been updated to the similar style. Because I mean, the blade looks amazing, doesn't it? You're watching this stream in school. Good job, Lizard King. Do you have any information on the Apollo or medical gameplay? Only stuff that's public, obviously. So the Apollo is going to get like search and rescue missions. You'll be able to find people that are in battlefield sites and that sort of stuff. Send out drones that are also stretchers. Pick those people up, bring them into the medical bays. So there's 2 separate medical bays in the Apollo. And you can set them up with 3 tier 3 beds, 2 tier 2 beds, or 1 tier 1 bed in each of the 2 rooms. A tier 1 bed, that is the best, and basically that allows you to heal near-death wounds, potentially acts as a respawn point, and can also heal multiple injuries and minor injuries, crippled limbs, that sort of stuff. And the tier 3 beds, they are for minor injuries, like potentially single crippled limbs, and the tier 2 beds are for like multiple injuries, multiple crippled limbs, that sort of stuff. So you choose what you want there, and then you'd make money in the Apollo by charging to heal people, or taking those missions that would pay you based on how many people you rescue. Lower tier beds can prevent people from dying, even if they've got tier 1 wounds, it sounds like. But other than that, I don't know much about the medical gameplay. I think they're going to be like, they're going to change med pens so that they give you a temporary health stabilization, but then you'll need to get to a tier 1 bed, whether that's, or tier whatever bed, whether that's an actual hospital or something like the Apollo. Before I love your face. Good job I talked about you, isn't it? When I buy a discounted starter package, do I have to pay more for CCUing the ship inside? No. So the value of the ship, as it stands on the sort of like internal the values of the ships on the left do not change based on how much you paid for them. They change based on how much CIG say they are currently worth. So if you bought a Bounty Merchant for $250, it's now worth $350 if you upgrade it to something else. Okay? So you can make a profit. You've still spent hundreds of dollars for ships. What else have we got? I'm just going to answer questions with the word question in. What do we as backers need to put an end to War Bond for good? I don't know. I'm not sure if you'll be able to, because it's smart for them from a marketing point of view, to be honest. Hello. Which would you choose? Gladius, Buccaneer, Arrow, Hornet, Sabre, Delta Autonomous, Kotu Al, Santok Yai. Out of that list that you've given me, I'd either choose Sabre or Santok Yai. If it's a Super Hornet, then it would either be the Super Hornet, Sabre, or Santok Yai. But it would probably be more towards the... I love the Sabre. And if the Santok Yai is good, then I might move my love to that. When do you think the ship spawn council will be fixed? None of my own ships show up, just the loaner from the event. Oh! I deleted the user file and reinstalled the game, nothing works. User folder, I see what you mean. I don't know. I haven't had that problem. I don't know. Hopefully it will be addressed soon. I will check it out and I'll mention it in the state of the game. I might get a video up later today or tomorrow. Hopefully they'll have it sorted before then. You're the captain aboard your reclaimer heading towards a rumoured big payday. Which fellow streamer would you choose for your crew positions? Pilot, gunner, salvage tech, escort. I would want Maya as my salvage tech. I need the puns. The puns keep you alive. I would want Twerk as my pilot. I'd probably go for Moist Noodle as an escort. There's so many content creators I fucking like now. Who would I want as my gunner? They need to be sassy, but not too sassy. Maybe Zockley? Do you like Zockley? I think Bad News Baron would be quite fun to play with as well, though. I'd probably want Smashley there as well. I like Smashley. There's dozens of content creators I want. And I will start playing with people more regularly. Has there been any recent updates on commodity pricing or the viability of trading in general? Well, I mean, we know they're supporting it and we know they're building out an economy. There was this sneak peek in the newsletter, which was sort of like the commodities table, sort of like stock market-y thing. So we know that they want a load of a dynamic economy that is partly player-driven, but obviously is heavily simulated. Do you think there's a chance that playable female characters will be added to 3.4? No. No, I think they're building it fully into the DNA system now, so 3.5. I doubled my referrals yesterday. 1 to 2. Congrats! Any new info on the Bounty Merchant? Not that I'm aware of, other than that it has some form of interplay with the Bounty Defender. I suspect we will get some more information on Friday about it. Is there a video on how to CCU my Arrow with lifetime insurance to a larger ship, keeping lifetime insurance on the new ship? Yeah, just upgrade it through the CCU system, like I showed you earlier. inherit all of the original base packs. Basically, it keeps everything on the original ship package that you had, except for the hull of the ship. So if you upgrade any package to something else, if you had 6 months insurance on the original package, it will keep the 6 months insurance. If you had lifetime insurance on the original package, it keeps the lifetime insurance. Regarding Shadow, the load times seem really bad in all games. Is this normal, or should I contact support? Contact support.
Tricksy little
I don't have problems loading in quickly. I've got some guides on how to make stuff run faster. Maybe it's just poorly set up or something. JP Sandman, thank you very much. Love your face. Appreciate the sub. At some point, I'll run a sub drive. I think it's probably a good idea too. If you upgrade, you keep the ship. If you upgrade, you get the new ship. You keep the original base package, and you get the new ship. It replaces the old ship. Do you have any idea when we might see Crusader ships? And when do you think Squadron 42 releases? I think we'll see Squadron 42. I'm hoping we see it at the end of next year. I don't know when we're going to start to see Crusader ships.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much for the bits, Kitra. Appreciate it. Would you be psyched to see ground vehicle tonk missions in Squadron 42? Yeah. I hope we do get some proper ground missions in Squadron 42 that are ground vehicle based. I'm assuming we will. I'm hoping that they go, ha, and we've got this military APC that we didn't tell you about. That's what I'm after as well. Oh, thank you very much, people answering others' questions and telling people how to ask questions. Appreciated. I bought the Arrow Warbond package. Where can I upgrade her since it isn't available at the moment? Yeah, just let me link. So here for ship upgrades. I'm just starting the game and have no idea what to do. What should I do? Tyler Murphy. Go on my channel, or just search on the YouTubes for Star Citizen, New Player Guide, or whatever. And a few other content creators have got tutorial guides under 20 minutes long that will teach you everything you need to do. Star Citizen is not new user friendly without checking that out. There are, if you go to the support if you go here as well, you can search for any queries you want. Or if you go to the main RSI website, you can, that there are some guides there now. So
dodging bullets, like,
have a look at them, do some research before you jump in, is my opinion. Do we know what we'll be able to find in Lawville Business District when they open it up? What sort of stores and facilities? Thank you for your hard work. No, we don't actually. Probably some gardens, because they've talked about gardens before. Probably some new mission givers, and probably some of the more richer, wealthier shops. Can you please explain how we use upgrade tokens and how storing CCUs for later works? You can just apply a CCU at any time before beta, and they basically, at some point, they'll say, right, we want you to use your CCUs up before the game goes live. They give you a lot of warning, so don't worry. We just go into my hangar. Let me show you. So you just go into my hangar. You literally click on the thing and apply upgrade. And then you click on that, and then click on next. And it will apply the upgrade to a ship. You can do that at any time, so you can keep the original ship and you change your mind later. Once you apply that upgrade, it's permanent. So bear that in mind. Obviously, you can upgrade it to something else later.
Beautiful.
But yeah, simple as that. And every 3 months, you can rebuy a ship that you've melted, the base ship, with store credits, but only once every 3 months. Otherwise, you have to use real money. Stop being a cheapskate. Oh. No, I am thrifty. Do you think we'll be able to get 3.4 by the end of this year? Yes, I think they're aiming for the 20th of December. Do you have a sense for loop stability, reliability improvements in 3.4? Lots of existing missions end up being bugged, even many combat missions. Yeah, I believe that is the main thing they're putting in 3.4. It will be a hell of a lot of performance improvements, quality of life improvements, as well as obviously those new ships. With the 890 jump growing to 190 plus meters, do you think it will be too big? No, I do not think it will be too big. I love it. Mwah. I love you, babe. Defender cockpit visibility. Yeah, they've already said that it is something they are addressing from the concept to make it more visible. Are there any ships or game features you fear will be a logistical nightmare to implement and will have to be significantly watered down or reconcepted entirely? I mean, they haven't finished concepting out a load of stuff like science and things like that, so sort of, but I'm not worried that they're going to be reconcepted, because I think that that's a brute fact. They're going to water down some of them, they're going to reconcept some of them, and they're going to iterate on some of them. I've got no problem with them watering down first iterations of mechanics significantly, and then just seeing where the mechanic naturally evolves to based on feedback, and what's sensible for that mechanic. Because we don't know exactly how half the mechanics are going to work, so I think that's just something that will happen. With the Idris P Warbond upgrade kit supposed to have lifetime insurance? Yes, so the Warbond upgrade kit should have lifetime insurance as far as I'm aware. I assume it's not. Is it an upgrade? Do you have to upgrade your Idris? I'm assuming it has lifetime insurance. Should do. Lizard King, how can I contact you in Star Citizen? If you come to discord.gg/BoredGamer, you can go on my Discord there, and I'll be on Star Citizen sometimes, where you can poke me. Anyone is more than welcome to send me a message on Discord. I'm relatively responsive. I'm busy a lot of the time, and stupid questions may not get answered, or sometimes even very good questions and things that I'm supposed to answer don't get answered because I'm busy. Or, you know, erratic. I'm bipolar, and I'm OCD, and various other things. When can we start sharing missions with our friends? I'm hoping we get some more functionality for 3.4, but we know they're building towards mission sharing and more friends and groups features. We just don't know exactly when they're coming. When can we go beyond the Stanton system? Well, we know they're building assets that can be commonly used, and there are some assets made for other systems already. There's the Pyro, Magnus, and Terra systems that are all proximate to Stanton, and one of them will get made next. Magnus and Pyro will be significantly easier than Terra, because Terra is an exceptionally populated, big system. One of the major super hub systems. It'll be like Jita, I suspect, Terra, like Jita in Eve. Do Concierge have access to the subscriber flare store to buy previously issued flare items? Subscribers do. I don't think Concierge do. I missed your answer last time. It must have been really short. C2 or CAT? Why? If you want to transport vehicles to planets, go for the C2. If you want to do more combaty things, C2. If you want to do cargo and have a very modular ship for lots of different purposes, but not taking tanks to planets and not fighting on planets, then go for the Caterpillar. Just because that's basically what that role is more suited for, in my opinion. And on paper. Will you be able to build ships from blueprints with mining materials in-game with a player-driven market, or you have to use real money to buy them? You can buy ships in-game, and you will be able to buy and obtain everything in-game without having to spend real money. All you need is a game package. I don't know what forms of manufacture and construction we will have in the game. I'm hoping that we have that level of ship creation and item creation in the future, to be honest. Can you briefly elaborate, the differences between the Gravlev bikes, Dragonfly, Nox, and X1? The Dragonfly is a two-seater that is slower, but potentially more rugged, has some carry capacity. The Nox has no carry capacity, but is very fast. It is basically a cool, agile racing bike, and the X1 is the more luxury version of those bikes. But the Dragonfly is the only one that has two seats, and I'm not sure. I don't think that either of the others have any form of carrying capacity, but the Dragonfly does. Dragonfly is my favourite there. Well, I actually think the Nox is my favourite, but the one I'd use almost always is the Dragonfly, because it has carrying capacity and two people can ride on it. Do you know if we'll get missions for Hurston in... Well, we're in 3.3.6 now, so Definitely not in 3.3.5 or 3.4. Yes, I think they'll get all that sorted, hopefully, or more of it sorted for 3.4. How many Banu bananas can a Banu defender defend? Google does not have the answer, sad face. None, because they're not finished yet. And they haven't built up the metrics for bananas, so we'll have to wait. Oh no, it's jumped forward. I think we're getting through them pretty quickly though. I have a few weapons from the Voyager Direct, nothing special but unique. Should I melt them for UAC, or will these translate to I think they translate to permanent ownership, maybe? I'm not entirely sure. I think they said that they wanted to give them lifetime insurance, but that might have changed by now. I'd potentially melt them. Consider melting them. Give you more leverage when you start a new patch, because you get alpha UEC to the same value as the UEC on your account. Do you think the Cutlass variants will get a toilet and a remote turret for the co-pilot? Does the current Cutlass have a toilet or not? I don't think it does it? I thought it did, but then I thought maybe it doesn't. I think the red might. And I think the blue, if it's got cells, it'll probably have lots of toilets. Will the Banu merchantman certainly increasing in price in the future, and the Gemini already increased? Is a layaway CCU from the Gemini to the Banu merchantman $10 a safe bet? Yes. Yes, it is. Good choice. Do you think they'll ever put in underground mining? Not like service mining like they have now. Almost certainly by hand. I don't know about other ways of exploiting stuff. So maybe. Has there been any news on the Carrack for 3.4? No Carrack for 3.4. No. Do you think that a single player will be able to spawn a ship and ground vehicle at the same time? Yes. The idea is that you'll be able to spawn your ship with any ground vehicles in at the same time. That's what they want to do. From a single console. You'll basically be able to go all the systems on the ship and also say that this is part of the ship. That this dragonfly is in the ship. All my thoughts on Battlefield upgrade kits? Yeah, they were illy thought out. It'd be fine if they kept them in and then had lots of stuff like that. I actually think it would make them more sales because people like fiddling. But yeah. What feature or ship combo are you most excited for? Thinking about it science now, but any of the economy stuff. And then capital ships like the Idris and Javelin coming in, so we actually have boarding properly. Hey, Board Lover Channel, any news on triple screen? Can't use user.cfg anymore. Why can't I use this user.cfg anymore? Does it not work? I'll have a look at it. I haven't messed around with the user.cfgs properly for a while. I am getting quad screen set up though properly. So okay. I'll look into it. I've been back and forth on this for several years. Connie, Taurus, or Freelancer Max. I melt them all the time, switch them out. Check out the Freelancer Max and see what it's like in 3.4. If I buy weapons for my ship in game and die, I may be losing those guns anyway to get them back. Those size 5 guns are expensive. No, not at the moment. Unfortunately, because stuff bought in game at the moment is basically lost when you die. Ships, however, oddly, that you buy in game at the moment, you can claim on, which is good. That's intended, so we'll be able to insure stuff like that in the future. Are we going to be able to insure weapons? Yes, we are. Or at least equipment on ships and stuff. I believe that's the plan. It'll be a lot more expensive though. Some insurance might be quite expensive if you start to insure everything. Are there any official release informations that show that the Hawk is going to be faster than the Arrow? Yeah, so I believe that the Hawk will. Yeah, they said and stated that the Hawk is going to be faster than the Arrow as a max speed. That Hawk. What else have we got? But the Arrow is going to be very agile. Yeah, hopefully character DNA feature in its first iteration for 3.5. Do you think we'll see housing mechanics in 3.7? maybe more developed tabs stuff. What planet is this? This is Hurston. This is in the game now. Thanks for the video. Thank you very much, Tandem Edge. Appreciate the monies. Mwah. What do you think about the land claim bond with Pioneer? I think that it's good that they come with a free one. A lot of people say you don't have to build in UEE space where you need a land claim to build. You can build on other areas that don't require land claims. So. Carrick not confirmed for 3.4. Any news on AI for turrets? So we talked about this earlier. Yeah, they're going to have AI blades. Even in smaller ships, you'll be able to make some smaller ships use remote turrets and whatever as point defense systems, or derpy, very simple defense turrets that are automated. But obviously, you can also hire NPCs, which will be better. Any news on the bounty merchant production? Nope. Not yet. What else we got? Anything else? Question. What do you think is going to be pushed out of 3.5 now that it's a bit bloated? We pushed... I don't know. It's not that bloated. It's not that bloated. There's all individual teams working on those mechanics. And they've got a good amount of time to get them done. So hopefully nothing. Maybe salvage.
I am going to buy so many spaceships.
Yar, add it to the chest, matey. Do you think orgs will struggle to support themselves when we have full persistence?
Lol Twins, thank you very much for the donation. Very much appreciated. No, I think it'll be... Well, I think some will. Some orgs will. Some orgs will have a very sort of like, oh shit, time. It'd be interesting to see the interplay between pirates and the sort of like bounty hunter organisations and how they react to each other. And how wars and like that will start, and how depleted and damaging it will do to the economies in game and to those orgs' economies and personal bank balances in game when we have full persistence. But yeah, I think some people will. It'll be an interesting one. It's all a learning curve, and more intelligent org leaders and people that are better at the economies and stuff will rise to the top. Maybe it's very much a meritocracy with that. Is the anniversary sale versions of the A2 and M2 still coming with ground vehicles given, like at the concept sale? Oh, I don't know. That is a good question. I don't think they are. Anniversary sale. It's going to be in the manufacturer spotlight. And let's click on the A2. And let's click on the M2. Nope. Just the ships. Just the ships. Question. In the Valkyrie, the Marines who will be suited up anyway have atmospheric safe zone. Yes, they do. Where the sleeping crew who are likely to be sleep with their helmet on get spaced. Why? Because you shouldn't really have people sleeping on the ship when the Marines are deploying. People having the Marines in there means the ship's probably deploying. Yeah? You know, I thought it was a silly idea as well. I think it should be sealed off. But, you know. Can I buy back my Kraken with store credits if I melt it? Or is it too limited? You will have to message CS about that. I don't know. I think things over $1,000 might work a bit differently. They used to. Were you surprised to not see the Titan power suits at the expo? Yes, I was hoping to see them. Maybe we'll see them at the anniversary, the holiday live stream at the end of the year. Maybe we'll see them next CitizenCon. Yeah, they might rename them because of the Avenger Titan. Yeah. I'm assuming Titan power suit, exosuits, whatever, aren't their final name. Are they going to give you your own NPC character in game, as they should do? Oh my god, that would be amazing. I'm hoping to get eventually scanned one day for the game, so you'll all be able to build beautiful me's in the game. Cool. That's most of the questions answered. So, one of the other things that was that's around at the moment is, now we'll link it on the Reddit. Unknown44 has released his modding tools, or the tools that he uses to break into the console. So basically, he is able to grab the 3.3.6 files, extract them with his pack tool, and then run an instance of the persistent universe offline and use the console commands freely. So that, with the 3.3.5 and 3.3.6 build, has enabled him to like spawn Idrises and the F8C and stuff like that in game. And obviously they're not the finished assets or whatever, they're the things we saw on the exposed show floor. But it sort of like begs an interesting question of how will CIG react to this? This is sort of like the first steps of modding for the game. So the second steps, I suppose, we did have someone actually mod in Pirate Swarm well before Pirate Swarm was available. If you can't remember that, or you don't remember that, I've got a video on that from yonks ago. So this has caused a lot of people to be very angry, and a lot of people to be very sort of like, oh, cool, I'm entirely neutral to it. Well, actually, I'm not. I think it's cool. I just don't know if it was a good idea to release the tools without talking to CIG, because it's probably against their EULA and terms of service. But, you know, I like to be democratic with certain things. Maybe it's not democratic I'm thinking of. You know what I mean. But certainly cool tools, cool stuff. I have not checked it to see if it is against terms of service and user license agreement stuff. I assume it is, so use it at your own risk if you did decide to use it. And I know if I tested it to see if it is full of viruses and ways to extract your data, so bear that in mind. If he releases the source code for it, which I assume he will at some point, that would be good. The modding team or hacking team, whatever you want to call them, they do seem to be relatively good chaps. They are just interested in that sort of thing, and hopefully they won't get too much hate. I think Unknown44 does want to get employed by CIG, so good luck to him for that. But I don't know where I stand on the moral ground. I don't have a moral ground to stand on with this. I don't know what to feel, because I don't really care much about it. I did want this sort of ability to mess around and do things in the console actually from the get-go with Star Citizen Alpha, but they've gone a different route now, and they are trying to lock down the game. I'm not sure if this is the right time for this or not. I don't know. I don't know a lot of stuff. I don't know how to feel about things. I did link it, didn't I? You can have the fun. Have the original link. I could only see it in Sedit, because the new version of Reddit explodes on my computer sometimes. Heavy Bob and Heavy Bob's one of the guys that helped with the thing. I'll chat after stream. I'm gonna eat in a bit. We'll have a chat if you want. We can talk about the future of your stuff. That'd be cool. It's worth noting that Google has a shitty past. I will find out some stuff about it, but at the moment, at their own risk. I'm sure that a lot of people do. I mean, you could be talking about the Matadors there as well, rather than the Star Citizen League guys. You know, I report on the news. I've always had good encounters with them and chatted to them, but who knows? Maybe I'm shelling for them. I'm not, by the way. When in the roadmap will dynamic physics grids arrive? So multi-grid physics tech, it is on the things to-do list. I'm not sure when it's going to be around. Correct answer. Yes, you will be able to buy back the Kraken with store credit. I already asked this and did it successfully. Thank you very much, Aka Khan. Appreciate it. See? I like things that are verified. Well, you know, verified enough. Someone in my chat said something about it. That's verified, right? Does the bounty hunting mechanism will be implemented with the Hawk, please? Not the full system, no. We might have more bounty hunting missions with it coming out, but definitely not any form of like full bounty hunting mechanics. Not even tier 0 ones, really. They'll just be probably a little bit more work on missions for it, or some, I don't know, some extra bits and bobs. But it's not going to be Kaiser dude, put him in your ship. Not yet. My Dragonfly and my Nox will never go above 50 on platinum moves, even when switching landing modes. Others have said it's supposed to go twice as fast. Is there a workaround? Yeah, they should go a lot faster than that, than 50. And I thought the workaround was to change flight modes. Sorry, I don't know. I appreciate all the love. What's the difference between Afterburner and boosting game? Well, it's more like academic now because they're changing it in the new flight model in 3.5. But basically, Afterburner increased your top max speed and would go beyond your normal max speed, all the way up to sort of like cruise speed, and boost would increase the agility of your thrusters, basically. How do you feel about the Vanguard? Is it worth the $1, and how does it perform solo versus with the turreter? We don't know. Wait until the new flight model, wait until they've got a bit more tweaks to the multi-cruise stuff. It's a lot better. Turrets are a lot better in the game now, but they still need to receive a good amount of work. And the Vanguard is just not in the right place yet. Needs a new flight model, needs a bit of balance. I suppose I should explain what's happening with the new flight model as well. So they want human ships to fly a bit more World War II, like more modern day fighter style. So you're going to have to sort of like have turning circles, consider your manoeuvring, stuff like that. There's going to be a lot of you can just accelerate up to your sort of like cruise speed, which is your max speed now, and you lose more and more agility as you get that. And there's no boost anymore. Afterburner is Afterburner. And you can set sort of like throttle ratios and stuff and bring them down so that you can have what was sort of like landing mode or precision mode or cruise mode, but you set that yourself now, so it's all just one system. I can't remember what it's called. It's the acceleration and acceleration control. And basically with that you can set your max speed with it so it doesn't go over that, and you can also set up the like increments of how your acceleration control and velocity control, I think, probably. How do you feel about the Vanguard? That's what it talks about. I've just bought a Vanguard Sentinel. Thoughts on Battlefield upgrade kits? I talked about it earlier. So they were ill thought out. I would actually like to see them in game, but they seem to not stop supporting them. And is there any way to get an Idris for $50? Buy one off someone for $50? I don't know. Is there? I think the base saber is better than the Comet, in my opinion. I like the base saber. Maybe I came at the wrong time, but did someone say a person worked with a hacker to get in to a CIG employees account? No, no one said that. So we were talking about the U-944's tools that he uses to basically exploit console commands in builds of Star Citizen on offline mode. They're on Reddit, so you can check that out. But do we have any news about what the Tier 1 reputation law system in 3.5 will actually entail or include? Good question, because I don't actually know. What does it actually say? 3.5, gameplay, reputation and law. Designing and implementing the initial iteration of reputation and law system, allowing for localized crime ratings and reputations, along with integrated location-based missions. So, some new missions, and they're going to put the start of their... you will have a proper reputation with each group, with each faction, whatever, and if you are witness to doing a crime, you will be chased, basically, and that will affect your reputation. If you're caught in that time, then there'll be some consequences to that. But reputations will also be affected, and eventually reputations might be you're so low that you'll shoot on sight when anyone detects you, but it should also be the detection of people as well. So you'll be able to scan people down and go, that's that person, that's their criminal rating. And then NPCs will do the same. I think that's the sort of stuff they want for the initial iteration. When will the next 2 quarters roadmap arrive? I suspect towards the end of the year now, so expect it for like December 20th. They'll just go bump and plop some more info down. And Squadron 42's roadmap, hopefully. I'm hoping they don't pussy out on that. He said December. Board, can we get an ETA when you're done streaming League of Have Lives? We'll arrange it for another day, Heavy Bob. We'll arrange it for another day. I don't know. I'm going to go eat afterwards as well, so I'll message you when I'm around, and if you're around, we can chat. We can message me whenever. It's all good. Chill. It's all good, bro. Do you know when we'll see the Squadron 42 roadmap? We're supposed to see it in December, so I'm expecting it December 20th, which is, I believe, is the last office day there. Or one of the last office days. In the sneak peek of the supply and demand dashboard of commodities. Fuck. Just lost the question. A sneak peek of the supply and demand dashboard for commodities and the related pricing that appeared on the 30th of November, and related pricing that appeared in the 30th of November newsletter, something that is arriving soon. What? I don't know. I don't know if they'll probably update the commodities and stuff. I don't know when those sneak peeks are coming out. Since professions that use remote drones like salvage, repair and refueling are coming soon, should we be seeing remote drone mechanics then? Yes, we should be seeing remote drone mechanics probably sooner rather than later, suspecting mid of next year, and we'll start to see like remote drones and things, at least simple ones. $50 and 1 Bitcoin, I will get you an address. Yes. Do you think that the Mako will have any functionality on release? Well, it will fly like a ship, but no, I don't think it will actually have the recording function of the news ship is supposed to have. When do I think we'll see the Mercury? End of next year. When do we think non-lethal personal weapons will be implemented? Good question. I think we'll see melee weapons, and I think we will see some not-so-lethal weapons phasing in pretty soon, but I don't know when. Really soon, in fact, actually. Anything else? Has there been any word about a patch between now and 3.4 to restore our content to Hurston? Not that I'm aware of. It might be a server thing they can tweak. It might be a little tiny mini patch they can do, 3.3.7. But 3.4, if they're going to get it out for this year, then they need to focus on that. Because it's, what, a couple of weeks away. With the freelancer, what's the simplest way to make money? At the moment, it would be running missions with cargo missions as well. So you can, yeah, you have access to pretty much all the missions with the freelancer. You want to be taking some cargo as well when you're doing those missions and selling it at the right places. So yeah, just grinding missions and also selling cargo simultaneously when you're in the right spots. Do you think fuels groups will change and the ships they are on once the Starfarer gets mechanics? Well, I think they'll actually work better. I think they'll start to actually implement the gameplay for them properly. Obviously, we need to be able to mine. We need to actually work out the value of quantum fuel. How often do we need it? Is there different types? There's a lot of stuff that they need to work out. Is the Santok UI, the Santok UI is listed with 4 fuel scoops. Do you think it will keep them or lose them due to all carrier fighters not coming or being able to equip fuel scoops? I don't know. The Xi'an obviously are a different race though, so I assume it will keep them. Like they do stuff differently, so it might be quite a long-range fighter. But yeah, any other questions? Because I'm going to go eat. Any informations about the hull series? No, nothing new. They need the multi-good physics deck and ship to station docking and cargo 2.0 done to get the hull C and beyond in. We might see the hull A and B before the hull C, potentially, because of that. But I think they want to get the hull C done first. Is there any reason to use the Freelancer base over the Freelancer Max? Freelancer Max might be larger targets. I think the Freelancer Max is just better pretty much in every way. So, delivery missions are terrible money, but grinding missions in general, what's available, does some of the missions then start to get a bit more profitable, I found. But what I meant is grind missions and also do cargo at the same time, so you're selling cargo at the same time. No, I don't sleep very well at the moment, unfortunately, but that's because I have OCD and I'm bipolar and suffer from odd bouts of depression. You know, is it working yet? Well, I mean, it's working, but how many more questions do you need to ask to stop you to go to get food? Is it working yet? Oh, I see. Is it time to release the Mohawk? Oh my god, I used to have a beautiful Mohawk. Is the Vulcan a good buy? Actually, there probably is there will be a Vandal ship called the Mohawk at some point, I bet. Is the Vulcan a good buy? Get it in game. It's $200. It's quite an expensive ship. I mean, it's probably good value for Star Citizen ships. It's going to allow you to do a lot. You just talked about diff quantum fuel. Reckon they will do different fuel grades like we have here in the UK, unleaded, leaded plus. Maybe, or they might just have the raw fuel in different qualities that's then refined. I don't really know. I don't think they 100% know either. Do you think I should mount the Kraken for the Polaris?
I'm dodging bullets like fucking
beautiful.
Neo.
I would keep the Kraken until it goes up in price and then switch it to Polaris. We're very much more likely to get the Kraken before the Polaris, in my opinion. Do not hold me to this because it might go a different way. But I would personally keep the Kraken. It might go up in price and then it might be a straight up like $100 to the Polaris, and then you can make a decision then. When do I think the Banner Merchantman will be in game? I do not know. That ship needs a lot of work after the Defender's out. If they've got a team working on it straight away afterwards, then you could have it in by the end of 2019. It depends if there's people working on it. It's all good. I'm good. Don't worry about it. Will the Vulcan be able to salvage since it can carry drones? It might be able to carry salvage drones, but I'm not sure where they put the salvage. Should the Freelance Miss, the gunship, have at least better guns than the based Freelancer? We'll be able to change the guns on it and change the systems on it. It's more about it being a missile boat and it can reload missiles as it's firing, which is the main thing. Right, go get food. I will. Love your faces. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much for the resubs, for the funds, for the monies, for the donations, for the love. Let's go see who's streaming. I'm sure someone interesting is streaming. Who's this guy? Who's this guy? Deadly Slob?
My name is Peter.
No. Just having to watch an ad. I don't know who this guy is. Oh my god, he's got like a billion, trillion, zillion followers, mate. I'm going to go host him. See if he's enjoying himself. I'm going to base it on his expression. There's got some Spider-Man in the background. Into the Spider-Verse. No, we're good.
Ship into storage, and I don't know how to do it.
Go and help this guy. He's got a beautiful beard. Give him some lover. Yeah, let's fucking raid him. Let's give him some love. Give him some help. He doesn't know how to play. But thank you very much, guys. Thanks for joining me. /raid. Deadly Slob. You take care, guys. I will see you soon. Peace out. Bam.